facciamo la selezione. Dipende. Io non ne ho bisogno. The temperature outside at the moment is approximately 36 degrees, so it's considerably become higher since this morning. Fortunately, you're on your way back now and you don't have to endure the heat much longer. Some of you may have noticed that there are a lot of olive trees on Corfu. This is due to the fact that the olive trees were planted by the Venetians over 500 years ago, and there were over 5 million olive trees planted on the island. So we do have an abundance of olive trees here. At one point this was one of the main sources of industry, the olive oil, but not so much now. The olives in Corfu are very characteristic, only to Corfu. That's because the trees are much taller, as they are in Italy. And the olives they cannot be picked, they have to put nets down. So I don't know whether any of you have noticed in passing that there's nets, or the nets rolled up at the sides of the trees. They put nets down in order, when the olives are ready, they will fall off and then they're collected from the nets. It's a very painstaking job. However, this is what the Venetians left behind, the abundance of olive trees here. So a few of you asked me what else is a characteristic of the island that you wanted to take back with you. And the other very characteristic produce from Corfu is what's known as kumquat. And the kumquat is a very small orange, about the size of a large olive. The outer skin is sweet and the inner side is quite bitter. It's usually used to make a liqueur, or they're crystallized in the form of dried fruits, or you can buy it in the form of a marmalade or a jam. This is kumquat, and you can only buy this here in Corfu. You won't be able to find this in any other places in Greece. And another delicacy they have is something called mandalata, which is a nougat with roasted almonds baked into it. This is more like a sweet. And you buy this is okay for travelling because you can buy it in like a plastic container. So these are the two things that are very characteristic of Corfu, the kumquat and the mandalata. When you arrive back at the port, the duty-free shop is open, so if any of you wish to purchase duty-free goods, feel free. And the duty-free shop is, when you arrive at the terminal building, just walk straight through the building and you'll see the duty-free shop directly in front of you. I'll leave you outside the terminal building. You go through the terminal building, come out the other side, and you will either walk back to the ship or you'll take the Port Authority bus, which will be outside the building. and the other is the island of Lanzarote. Vilos is now used as a summer camp for children. At one time it was used as a reform school for naughty children. But you can take a small boat out there. Many people go out there to swim, and they do have a small restaurant on the island of Vilos. Mainly it's used by local people. The other island is the island of Lanzarote, and this in ancient times was used as a leper colony. Later on it was used as a concentration camp for collaborators during the Second World War. It has a church on the island of Lanzarote, and one of the more sinister sides of it, on the church they still have the marks where people were lined up against the church and shot for so-called collaborating during the Second World War. It's one of the more darker sides of the island, but it was at one stage a leper colony.